Hi, everybody. I'm trying to. Sorry to show my face, but I kind of have to because it's bizarre, I know. But I feel more connected to people in this very isolated life I am living now if I actually see me. Oh, but see names. Okay. Yeah. Happy New Year, everybody. Yay! Happy New Year! Happy, happy, joy, joy. Unfortunately, it's going to be a very rough year for an awful lot of people who have not yet experienced the fabulous consequences of the evil that is taking place, but they will. So I hope you're all emotionally prepared for loss. Lindy London, Yender 2, Mimi, Darren, James Spencer, Andrew Cruz, TFL at War. Hi. Thanks for joining. Sherry Hughes, thank you very much. Jane Northrup, Dude DeCio, Donna Davidson, Paige, Oracle 11, Rage Against the Machine, Patricia, hello, hello. Yeah, prepare yourself, guys. It's going to be a pretty wild ride. Unfortunately. Analog Synth Player, Atena, hello. Wonder Why, hello. Oh, L78, thank you. Do I dare say this now? I guess so. I want to apologize to people that I haven't gotten back to emailing. I'm not okay. I picked myself up for these 2 hours, but I'm barely functioning. I've mentioned that throughout the live, so it should not come as a surprise to anyone. But I'm having a whole lot of difficulty writing. So I do hope to get back to people within the next couple of days. So yeah, I feel like my life has just been pushed kind of over the edge, and I'm hanging on to a twig that's sticking out of the cliff. So I am doing my best every day, but I'm not responding. And well, I've got to stop it, I know, but I apologize. And there are people who are emailing that I'm not responding to purposely because I have no intention of responding to them. And you all should know who you are. Okay, so just wanted to put that out because I don't want anybody taking my great limitations now personally. Yeah, I don't. So, Phil Strange, hello. Ezra, hello. It'll change in a minute. Okay. Laura K, hello. Silent Walk. Cecilia Amarati. Julie. Hi. And Super Painting 62. I just want to show you what my morning looked like here in Arizona. This is pretty much standard. This is the sunrise. It's so pretty, isn't it? No. It's a whole lot of black carbon dust. It's a whole lot of lithium. It's a whole lot of these very toxic heavy metals and chemicals mixed in, and a whole lot of stuff that they are spraying into the atmosphere, which we are breathing. I'm surprised that so many people are still functioning, which is pretty amazing. Ooh, No, for decades, the start of my life, I never saw this in the sky, but now, for about a decade, this is what I see. And then later on, I don't know, maybe 10, 11. And this is what I see. People called these fish scales. Did you see that pulse? Oh, the camera going out of focus and snapping right back into focus. Look at it again. Catch it. It's coming. It's coming. Boom. Ah, yes. Ah, those electromagnetic frequencies that affect every cell in our body. Every cell in our body. Today was one of the days that I look at the sky and it's like somebody threw paint, white paint, into the sky, and it just stuck there. And of course, eventually, the sky just gets covered over in a thick mass of cloud. Pretty, isn't it? No, it's not. You like that? That darker shade of gray? And then we got this. This was later on in the afternoon. Looked like a rope. Somebody had thrown a rope up there. Ah, yes. The visible microwaves. The invisible becomes visible. And what you are looking at is danger. Because it's not just up there, but we are saturated in very dangerous electromagnetic frequencies that affect all of us. That affect all of us. And what was this? This was later this afternoon. I mean, clouds so thick that, yeah, you gotta wonder. Gotta wonder how so many people just do not pay attention. Do not pay attention. They're so disintegrated. They have no connection to nature at all. They can't see the death around them. The death of the trees and the insects and the birds and the, oh boy, the atmosphere and the clouds. Very sad. So, and I brought up Zoom Earth. Where is it? Let's just take a look at Zoom Earth today, starting at 8:40 a.m. And look at Arizona. Wow. Yeah. It just looks like, these strands of thread, strands of wool, in pretty much a perfect line. And then this is essentially what you saw in the video. The very tight squares that this is 9 a.m. 10. Wow. New Mexico 2. Today was a day of Yay, Happy New Year. Hard reality, right smack in your face for those who can deal with reality. 11, 12. Look at this. It's so disgusting. I mean, what is this? Can you tell the difference in the colors? The very pale green, dirty green looking color. And here's white, and it's 1240. There's no reason for this except for activated nanobots. Look at this right angled cut right in here. New Mexico, Arizona. Look at this. It's disgusting. What were they spraying? At 140? Into Mexico. Really? Natural cloud? I don't think so. I really don't think so. The ripples, for anybody who is very new to reality, microwaves. And can you see the green? I mean, it almost looks like a, those Christmas candy canes. Look at this. Can you see the green? Can you see the pink? Can you see the white? Really? Okay. Well, unbelievable. Here's 240. Clouds getting thicker and thicker. And 3 o'clock. Bingo. All right, I'll put the link in the chat if you want to come over and check out your area. The blue, nanobots. Because at the same time period, you can see the white clouds, but what is all of this blue mess here? Nanobots. So you can go all over the world. For sure, the United States is the best, has the best view, the clearest view. But yeah, why would these clouds be blue and these be white? You gotta ask yourself. You gotta question everything. Oh, this looks pretty over here. Oh man, look at this. And look at this right-angled mess. And look at this blob that's sitting above this blob that's really dirty. And you got a circular blob here. I guess you got 2 hurricanes beginning to twirl about. What? Come on, man. I just wish that we could get through to people, and I guess we can. It's really... Happy New Year. Happy New Year. So, Japan.
On the western shore of Honshu Island, the earth begins to tremble. Towns and cities begin to shake as a series of earthquakes rock parts of central Japan. The information board at a station in Ishikawa swings wildly. Passengers on the trains gasp for air as the tectonic plates which lie beneath this region shift and slide and buckle. No deaths or injuries have been reported, but officials report 6 incidents where people were buried under rubble. 50 separate earthquakes have been recorded by Japan's seismic monitor, including one with a magnitude of 7.6. And tsunami warnings have been issued up and down the coast. Fearing a surge in water levels of up to 5 meters, residents have been ordered to evacuate. Every minute counts, say government officials. That message was reiterated in a national broadcast by the country's Prime Minister, Kishida Fumio. Pay attention.
I just want to say that the tsunami warning, they lifted it this morning. But can you imagine how they feel in Japan with tsunami warnings coming after an earthquake? Oh, you want to talk terror? That's yeah.
On Monday, January 1st, 2024, a powerful earthquake, followed by a tsunami, struck central Japan and its western coast, unleashing widespread chaos and prompting urgent warnings for residents to evacuate. The seismic shock, initially gauged at a preliminary magnitude of 7.6, sent shockwaves through the affected regions, causing power outages, disrupting essential services, and inciting a state of emergency. Of the Sea of Japan coast, with ominous expectations of larger waves looming. The city of Toyama, located in Toyama Prefecture, reported urging residents to seek higher ground in anticipation of potential catastrophe.
So, roads and homes and businesses were destroyed. It is so remarkable what we are living. But I don't know, did you see what I posted on my Never Lose Truth channel with the crows behaving very strangely? Let me bring that up. Just in case you didn't see it.
Crows in Japan have been behaving strangely before, after, and during the earthquake. Take a look. So, I titled it, Crows Behaving as One Would Expect If They Had an awful lot of those artificial electromagnetic frequencies
taking place. But I find it interesting that I only see crows here. I don't see any other birds. Real Fishing Life, the channel that I recommended, also said that in Florida, he's not seeing any birds. And then one day he posted and he said he's seeing crows, but that's it. They can use electromagnetic frequencies where those birds attack humans. Okay, just wanted to point that out. Japan. It's really, wow. And the crows. So, directed energy weapons, just as a reminder.
I want to emphasize that we are currently in a state of war that people aren't realizing.
What is that?
These weapons are being wielded around us, against us. There are power players that are above nation states. Geographical boundaries and political parties mean very little to the wealthy elite on this planet. We're pawns, we're chattel. I am a person for the people. We, the people of this planet, deserve a better future than the one we are being presented. We've all, through our blood, sweat, and tears, we've invested here in the United States. We've invested our taxpayer dollars for these people to create weapon systems that they're using against us. It's a sin. It's illegal. It's a sin. It's immoral. And we have to do better for the future generations of this planet.
Are you worried for your safety?
No.
Why not?
I'm just simply beyond that. I don't really care what happens to me. I care about doing the right thing.
Do you think you're in danger?
I guess theoretically people don't like me doing what I'm doing.
Do the right thing. Takes courage. But once you start doing the right thing, then it becomes something that you have to do, and you just have the courage. All right, I'm going to link below to this Kristen Megan talk that she gave about geoengineering, the chemtrails. I'll play just a few minutes of it. It's in the chat, the link, but I'm doing this because somebody had asked me if I had the link. Well, I just came across it on Twitter.
All right, first off, I just want to, I know everyone else has said it, but I really appreciate everybody that has come out here today. It's not just showing up and supporting an event, it's actually listening to those of us who are here to share a message. So, as it was presented to you, I'm here to speak to you about geoengineering. First thing I want to ask you is, who doesn't believe it exists? Anybody here on the fence? Okay. Well, hopefully when you leave here today, you don't just believe it. You share the information that I'm going to share with you, and you get more people on board to stop this unethical crime. I want to show you a video clip because the first thing people ask me about geoengineering is, who are these people? Who are the people that are, kind of pushing the button to get this thing going? One of them, his name is David Keith. And David Keith has been low in the radar for a while. But he has written a book about climate engineering that has basically done more for the truth movement of this than anything. Because he is the frontline person that is the #1 advocate for geoengineering. And I want to show you a clip. It's about 6 minutes, so just bear with me.
You ever look at those planes up there? They have contrails on them.
Maybe all those planes are the contrails. Maybe they're actually spraying chemicals into the atmosphere right now, and Uncle Sam isn't telling us.
Seems extremely unlikely.
That the United States is not telling something to its citizens, that seems extremely likely to me. Read the newspaper.
And, of course, there are a lot of problems with what they're proposing. It turns out plants need sunlight.
Yes.
Have you gotten some grief for suggesting this?
Sure. I mean, this is like writing a book that's the case for leprosy.
Well, first of all, let me ask you this question, because there's a rumor, I don't know if this is true or not, that some scientists are trying to figure out a way to block the sun to try to slow down global warming.
Could an individual start this?
In practice, only a country. A big country.
What about a man in like a hollowed out volcano with henchmen who occasionally shakes his fist at the sky and says, "They said I was a fool at Harvard. Who's the fool now?"
It's All Things Considered from NPR West. I'm Arun Roth. If scientists get the calculations wrong, it could be catastrophic for life on Earth. Or what if the technology got into the wrong hands? Couldn't someone shoot poison into the atmosphere?
So people are terrified about talking about this because they're scared that it will prevent us cutting emissions.
Right, and also that it's sulfuric acid. You're bearing the lead. Is there any possible way this could come back to bite us in the ass?
You put another kind of pollution, sulfur dioxide, up to orbit, cover the atmosphere. The sky won't be really blue in the way it is now anymore.
Blanketing the earth in sulfuric acid, because I'm all for it. This is the all chocolate dinner. I still get to have my CO2, and I just need to spray sulfuric acid.
Right?
All over the earth.
Right? But we put 50 million tons of sulfuric acid in the air now as pollution, and it kills 1 million people a year worldwide.
Okay, and that's good or bad?
It's terrible.
But it'll be better if we put more in. So if it kills 1 million people and we're only doing 1% more, we're just killing 10,000 more people.
You can do math. So killing people is not the objective here.
Killing people, not the objective. I just wanted to be clear.
Because some very mainstream scientists are saying that the climate change situation is so bad that saving life as we know it might require something radical, like shooting chemicals into the stratosphere to reflect sunlight.
This is the kind of stuff I wake up sweating about. Exactly.
Well, it's your goddamn idea.
No, it actually turns out to be an old idea. This was known since President Johnson, and the scientific community mostly decided not to talk about it.
What happens to the sulfuric acid after it's sprayed? Does it just stay up there?
No, it rains down.
Okay.
But as I said, it rains down.
Okay.
It's a tiny addition.
Okay.
And you'd put, say, 20,000 tons of sulfuric acid into the stratosphere every year, and each year you have to put a little more, and this doesn't, in the long run, mean that you can forget about cutting emissions. We will need to rein in.
No, we'll get to it eventually, yeah.
But it does.
In the meantime, we're shrouding the earth in sulfuric acid.
So it is that you could actually spray sulfuric acid in the stratosphere 20 kilometers over our head and use that to stop the planet warming up in a kind of ugly tech fix.
You could spray something into the atmosphere to change.
Spray pollution into the atmosphere to stop it warming.
So in the end, pollution saves them all. We owe pollution. We owe acid rain an apology, is what you're saying.
A totally imperfect technical fix.
Okay.
It would have risks. It wouldn't get us out of the long run need to stop polluting, but it might actually save people and be useful.
Sky won't be really blue.
All right, so Kristen Megan is ex-military, and I don't know if she goes into her qualifications to speak on. Let's see if she does.
HARP to heat those metal oxides. The temperature of the sky is raised to more than 100 degrees Fahrenheit, preventing the accumulation of water vapor that would otherwise form clouds and produce rainfall.
Somebody who's actually out there violating the ethics of their job to promote geoengineering. I'm going to talk about geoengineering, but I want to share a story with you. Every time I'm asked to speak, I public speak for a living. I'll go into that, but I don't get nervous to speak to you. What I get nervous about is not getting emotional telling you my story. Because in 2002, shortly after 9/11, like a lot of military veterans, I raised my right hand and I took an oath to the Constitution to hopefully do something meaningful with my life 19 years old, unsure what I wanted to do. So I enlisted in the U.S. Air Force. My job in the U.S. Air Force was working in bioenvironmental engineering. So what bioenvironmental engineering is in the Air Force is equivalent to that of the OSHA and the EPA, if you're familiar with that. So we were an embedded liaison to make sure that we were tracking all of the aspects and impacts of the military, meaning what is the military doing and how is it impacting the environment, because we were accountable for that. Being government, we did not get any special treatment. We just couldn't be fined being another federal agency. EPA can, but not OSHA. So from the health side, it was knowing what you do in the Air Force. What does your job entail that is hazardous to your health? And I'm going to give you an example. Let's say that you were an aircraft painter, you were a mechanic. My job would go out to make sure I knew everything that you did, what you were exposed to, and how to mitigate and engineer out those hazards. Because we needed to, one, it's your legal right to be working in a safe and healthful work environment. So throughout 9 years, I worked as an industrial hygienist and an environmental specialist. There's two bases I was at that are called air logistics centers. What does that mean? It's not like a fighter wing, it's not really fun and amazing. What they did is they took aircraft that around every 10 to 15 years, they were required to be dismantled down to the last screw. So that meant every single industrial process you can think about, checking the metal integrity, making sure everything's good to go, or sometimes overhauling equipment. Part of my job in tracking the health hazards was to look at any time someone wanted to buy a chemical, any type of chemical. It was ordered through a system, and in that system, I had to go in there and say, the country we're in, we're not allowed to use this. We need to substitute it out with something a little less hazardous, while also maintaining the integrity for a technical order, meaning for that process, it says you must use, xylene or toluene to do this process. Well, I have to kind of fast forward. I want to say around 2006, I started kind of opening my eyes to how the military wasn't really what I thought it was. And people approached me knowing what I did for a living and said, have you ever heard of chemtrails? Well, I hadn't. And that sparked my interest. So I went online and I looked at chemtrails. I saw a lot of, debunking, a lot of sites that were just kind of calling it a conspiracy theory. And I thought, well, geez, this is what I do for a living. Preventive health, making sure that people are not getting sick, especially in the workplace, and by things that we're doing that can affect, human health and the environment. To summarize it, in an attempt to debunk this conspiracy theory as I thought it was, I didn't debunk it. It literally changed my life. Like I said, this is hard for me because it's not easy standing here and telling my story. One day I was going through that computer system, which if you want to look it up, it's called an Air Force Form 3952. It is the approval of hazardous materials. I was finding tons and tons of large quantities of aluminum, barium, strontium in the forms of oxides and sulfates. And of course I knew that there's industrial processes you may not have heard of, but it's bead blasting, pneumatic sanding, shot peening. There is certain medias that's similar to that is used. However, I had already accounted for that. I would sit and look at this computer system and say, this shop wants to order this paint. I'm going to tie it to a task. We had to know what was being used, why it was being used, tracking it cradle to grave on how we were going to dispose of it to be compliant with OSHA and the EPA. One of the legal requirements in approving these is looking at what used to be called the material safety data sheet. On that sheet, it's going to list the manufacturer. It's going to list some maybe acquired personal protective equipment that needs to be used or some ways to mitigate the exposures. These electronic MSDSs did not have a manufacturer name. They were very vague. They almost looked to me like somebody had made it and scanned it into the system. So I asked the question, what is this being used for? I never got an answer, so I didn't approve it. And it sat there. And then the heat came down. Why are you behind on your 3952s? Only a select few of us did that. So I started asking questions. And at that point, my demonization began. I made my rank. I was decorated. I was a non-commissioned officer of the quarter. I won lots of awards. I had no reason for anyone to attempt to demonize me. So then I get moved over to the other Air Logistics Center. There's only 2 in the Air Force, which is in Warner Robins, Georgia. This kind of carried with me, and I thought, you know what? Should I revisit this? Is it worth it? Did I hit something? Maybe it's need to know. I started finding the same things at Robins Air Force Base. I was now doing some more investigation work. Part of what I did was to use a high volume air sampler to air sample up to, I'd say, a football field in about 10 minutes. I also conducted soil sampling because I thought, you know, if this is real and they are spraying this, it's going to get to the ground. So I conducted air sampling, I conducted soil sampling, and I was getting high levels of these contaminants. When I started asking the question again under a new commander, I never in my life thought I would have somebody look me in the face and tell me, I am questioning you. Is there something wrong with you? You've been looking really depressed lately. You know I can put you under mental evaluation for up to 120 days. Who would take care of your daughter? Because I was divorced at the time.
So she was threatened. So there's only a minute left, so I'm going to play it out.
As soon as I heard that, I knew. It validated everything I ever thought. And I thought, I've spent 9 years of my life trying to protect human health, and here we are violating law after law after law. Just sitting here, instead of protecting the people, we are poisoning the people. And I've never got up so much courage from that fear of being thrown in a cage, because when you're in the military, folks, you're a number. You are a number, and every aspect of your life is controlled. I was so lucky that my enlistment was coming up and I was supposed to re-enlist. I ran and did not look back. And I have been blowing the whistle and shouting ever since. And I left October 27th, 2010.
She had, well, this video is probably about 12 years now, 12 years old. And she had been speaking out about the geoengineering and the chemtrails that the military are doing and have been doing for a very long time. I really would appreciate people not dragging down or degrading whistleblowers. Please try to not yeah. So, I'll put the link in again. But because we're all in a cyber world on screens, you know, people get lost in the shuffle and you don't know where they are and what's going on, which is very, very frustrating. Gentleman calls out the World Economic Forum in 15-minute cities. I'm going to post the link to this. Yeah, it's, you know, regardless of, you know, where we're at, clearly, these agendas can't get stopped. But don't think just sitting back and doing nothing is going to get you into heaven. All right, I'm going to link below to this video, which was sent to me by a subscriber whom I'd like to thank. And it is about, well, how the body really works, the corrected levels of structural organization, information level, which is the software energy. Okay, a lot of what they're talking about, it's kind of a recap for those who know something about electromagnetic frequencies, but for those who don't, you might want to click on the link and watch it. But he's also talking about what synergy Sabrina Wallace has been talking about, and Maria Z interviewing a lot of people talking about all of all of what we have been talking about for many, many years has come to fruition. And yeah, software has been placed in your body. And yes, they can control people. They can control their thoughts. They can control their views and opinions. They can control their behavior. And do you think that they're using all of this technology for good? Forget about it. So, what we are looking at are an awful lot of people who are going to be controlled into violence. All right, so it was a very good video, very clear, about what they're talking about. And here, I came across this video, this article, and I didn't read the entire thing. I do recommend, and I'm going to put the link in the chat, that you bookmark the Burning Platform. A lot of very good articles. But here, corruption, chaos, conflict, fourth turning erupts in 2024. Americans today are increasingly polarized, as if they constitute two separate nations, and that polarization is only going to be erupting more and more. And these are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. But he that stands by it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have this consolation with us that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. Thomas Paine wrote those words 247 years ago, 1776. But we don't have those men or those women. We don't have people who really care about what is taking place. So that's why we have been going down for an awful long time. Yeah. The polarization and fractures have become too deep to repair. The country and the Western world in general are hurtling towards a darkening abyss of civil conflict, financial collapse, global war, societal chaos, and loss of life on a scale grander than World War II, the Civil War, and the American Revolution combined. Our technological advancements have outstripped our ability to intelligently, thoughtfully, and humanly use this power for the benefit of future generations. The destructive deficiencies of human nature, such as greed, desire for power, hatred, arrogance, resentment, and an unlimited supply of self-delusion, continue to plague our world as only the most power-hungry psychopaths rise to the highest levels of government, business, religion, and finance. The immense technological power in the hands of egocentric, megalomaniacal, sadistic billionaires and their highly paid toadies, lackeys, and apparatchiks inserted throughout the media, government, academia, banking, and corporations has pushed the world to the brink of Armageddon. We are entering the 16th year of this fourth turning. Based on history, we can expect a climax of this crisis in the 2030 to 2032 time frame. Oh, but we're going to be living in hell way before that. The path to that climax is guaranteed to be violent and unforgiving. And every day that goes by, we are going to see more and more violence. I listened to Sabrina Wallace, who was talking about, the Second Amendment. Yeah, it's going to save you. And it's not. The one thing that I will say about the Second Amendment is that it can protect you against your fellow Americans or illegal immigrants for a while. That's it. That's it. So, I'm still seeing people, yes, hold on to that Second Amendment, Americans. It's, yeah, we're way beyond that. We are way beyond that with the weapons of war that they are using against all of us. And this whole green energy crap. Here's another guy. My Tesla died.
All right, so my piece of trash Tesla completely died. And because it died, it's got no battery. Because it's got no batteries and everything's completely dead. This is the complete battery. Everything's done. I had to buy a new battery pack. Costs like 26 grand. I'm not buying that. I'm not giving them another dime. But you see here, it's raining. It's dead. I can't access the inside. So I got to see if I could take apart the cone. I got someone willing to pay 20 grand. I can't even access the damn ownership. This is 2022, people. This is what the future looks like. A brand new electric vehicle, you can't even access the damn thing because they didn't think about how to do it. Worst off, they made it so the air conditioning condenser unit dumps all the water on top of the battery, so my battery is full of water, which is why it needs a new one. And now they're saying it's not covered under warranty, even though it started happening during the warranty period. This is why you should never buy a Tesla, people. Thing's complete trash. Stay away from it.
This is happening more and more to people. How about this?
Investigators say lithium-ion batteries that were charging in the garage caused this fire. News 4's Darcy Spencer has more on the dangers of those batteries and how the community is coming together to help the family who lived in that home.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
The fire spread quickly on Alexander Manor Drive in Sandy Spring Thursday afternoon. Owner Tom Kennedy had left about a half an hour before his home of nearly 20 years was destroyed. He's thankful no one was hurt.
Oh, Darcy, it's the pits. What can you do?
Fire investigators determined it was caused by lithium-ion batteries that were charging tools in the garage.
Everything is melted down in the garage. Everything.
Kennedy's sister and two dogs, Maddie and Sophie, were in the home. Fortunately, they got out with the help of two college students home for winter break. They rushed in and got the dogs out just in time.
Yeah, it was completely dark, couldn't breathe. And then by the time we got out, I actually started to see the fires. Thankfully we got out so fast.
Investigators say toxic battery fires are among the toughest to deal with, and they're seeing them more often.
Sure are seeing them more often. And here, thousands of drivers signed petition calling for ban on blinding vehicle headlights. How is it that those blinding vehicle headlights passed safety tests? Have you ever driven at night and you're blinded by people with these headlights that are so blinding?
Blinded by the lights when you're driving, you are not alone. Thousands are complaining that vehicle headlights are actually getting brighter and causing more glare.
At least one group says this is dangerous. Our Nydia Hahn joins us to explain. Nydia.
Yeah, this issue has become a bit of a talker. About half of all fatal crashes happen when it's dark, and headlights make a difference in crash rates. The Soft Lights Foundation is calling for a ban on what it calls blinding headlights, circulating a petition that has more than 41,000 signatures.
I've got a small car. This truck is so much higher than me, those headlights are going straight into my eye.
More people are buying taller vehicles. In 2010, 56% of vehicles sold were SUVs or trucks. By 2021, they accounted for 81%.
How is that going to be safe? So there's a mismatch between small cars and super large cars.
I would say it's not about whether the car is taller than your car. It is those particular lights that people started using. LED lights that blind you. It's very dangerous. And economic warning 2024. Just going to play a few minutes of this. If you want to listen to the full video, click on the link below. FedEx shipments collapsing. Why? Because people don't have money.
FedEx, one of the largest shipping companies in the world, just issued a big economic warning for 2024, cutting their revenue outlook due to a difficult demand environment that has now resulted in 10 consecutive quarters of decline in U.S. shipping volume, which is an ominous sign for the overall health of the economy in 2024. There's lots of people right now who think that we've averted recession and that we're going to enter an economic boom, but this data from FedEx suggests otherwise. Because we are in a freight recession unlike any other in history. Trucking companies right now are in dark times. This is not a good time to be in the trucking industry. Most recently, Yellow Corporation, one of the nation's oldest and largest trucking companies, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in August, laying off 30,000 employees. So a lot of these trucks that you see driving around America, they're driving half empty because the consumer demand simply isn't there for durable goods anymore.
But Bidenomics, the economy is just doing swell. And listen to this. Read. I really should have done the work to verify this, but this is unbelievable. But considering it's Zelensky, okay, Ukraine. The upcoming mobilization law in Ukraine restricts your rights if you do not have a military ID. Now, conscription for military in Ukraine, they were literally just dragging guys out of their homes, picking them up on the streets, throwing them into the military. Not voluntary at all. And they lost a lot of soldiers. So I wouldn't doubt that this is actually accurate. You have to have a military ID, otherwise you can't drive, you can't access your money, you can't sell your house or car, you don't have access to state services.
Так, ребят, ну что, сегодня утром прочитала, что 10 января будет сессия, где будут рассматривать новый закон о мобилизации. Больше всего мне понравилось то, что будет нельзя сделать без военного билета. Значит, понятно, выезжать за границу и сейчас никто не может. Больше нельзя продавать движимое и недвижимое имущество. Вы больше на это не имеете права, если у вас нет военного билета. Самое смешное – это управление транспортным средством. Вас останавливает полиция, у вас нет военного билета, вы не можете управлять автомобилем. Класс. Вам будут отказывать в кредитах, вам будут отказывать в государственных услугах. И самое классное, это у вас будут ограничения по использованию своих личных средств. Вот так вот будете приходить в банк, хочу снять денежку свою заработанную, а банк вам скажет, военный билет, пожалуйста. Допрыгались? Классно. Вот, все, кто там в ЗЗ прыгал и скакал за этих клоунов, пожалуйста. Теперь у вас есть возможность проявить свой патриотизм, воевать.
Wow. Well, Ukraine has really been pushing that great reset. So, Secretary of State that kicked Trump from main ballot wants better leaders in power to prevent election sabotage as she sabotages elections. Wow. I mean, come on. For people of Maine to hear this and not be at least questioning how this woman, the Secretary of State of Maine, can kick off somebody off a ballot, denying Mainers their right to vote for people who are running for the presidency, claiming that she's saving democracy and she's making sure that people pick better leaders, according to her. You have to wonder, has a software been put in this woman and they're controlling what she has to say and what she does. And she did this right after Colorado reversed their taking Trump off the ballot. And then Maine starts. It's phenomenal what is happening in our country, and Americans are just going around living life as nothing's happening. Blinken again bypasses the U.S. Congress to send munitions to Israel. I've brought this up 3 times in 2 different lives. I'm saying it again. What's happening here? He bypasses Congress. He declares an emergency. And the emergency he has declared can allow him to bypass Congress for another country. So there's no emergency for Americans, but it's the emergency to send more munitions to Israel to kill more Palestinians and to continue the abject genocide that is going on. This headline alone shows you there ain't no rule of law anymore in our country. The criminals do whatever the hell they want to do. They violate the Constitution and law repeatedly because that's what criminals do. But he kind of looks like he's an American, and he dresses like me when I have to go to work, and, well, so he can't be a criminal? Long-term brain issues in COVID patients may be linked to the disease severity, not COVID itself. Brain function can be impaired for 18 months after a person has recovered from COVID-19, especially if the individual was hospitalized. However, COVID-induced cognitive impairment is no more severe than impairment due to other diseases causing hospitalization. Well, just in reading those few words, one might look to hospitalization as a cause. But yeah, cognitive impairment. We've got an awful lot of that going on now. It's very serious. And of course, do we ever get an actual correct diagnosis? No. The brain health of COVID-19 patients who were ill enough to go to the hospital suffered long-lasting neurological damage. Wow. That included new psychiatric diagnoses. Such psychiatric, wow, anxiety, depression, fatigue, sleep issues. You gotta wonder. There's a whole lot that causes those psychiatric disturbances, as we well know. In fact, before COVID, if you had told me antidepressants cause mass shootings, I wouldn't have believed you. Well, guess what? Those psychiatric medications cause an awful lot of damage, have killed people, caused strokes, I may get this channel taken down. Destroyed my life. Destroyed hundreds of thousands of lives. Nobody cared enough to listen. And here, Green Day changes the lyrics of American Idiot. I don't know who Green Day, it's a group. They have a song, American Idiot, to bash MAGA live. New Year's Eve show. This is what we do now. You know, you have a New Year's Eve show, and then you have a group that's bashing MAGA Republicans at an event that really should be for all Americans. But this is perfectly acceptable now. And Bill Clinton to be unmasked as Doe 36 and identified more than 50 times in Jeffrey Epstein's document dump. The names of more than 170 people, known only as Joe and Jane Doe, previously with ties to Epstein, are expected to be revealed in the documents after Manhattan federal judge Loretta Preska ruled just before Christmas they would be unsealed in the new year. Documents are expected to be released beginning on January 2nd. The flight logs, I see Twitter ablaze with the flight logs. But really, I mean, look, we all know this. We all know that the quote-unquote leaders are trash. And we don't do anything about it. I guess Americans on the whole really feel they don't deserve anything but the scumbags and trash criminals to lead them. And I'm just going to play this. This really... It's just a reminder. When we see these groups getting funded with millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, near immediate to when they get that mainstream media coverage, you can bet that there's somebody behind the curtain pulling the strings of that organization.
Just keep in mind that this event is, in all actuality, quite public. We are live streaming. The press are here. We are before the world, and we want to put the foot of socialism.
Oh, wait, this is a different video. I'm sorry. All right, well, yeah, the socialists, the communists. Okie dokie.
Forward, in the best way possible and create more socialists.
I see that no one's clapping for me. It could be because I'm not engaging, but it also is because everyone's doing this. And that's really important because those loud bursts of noise, even though this is a noisy space, when we can do something like reducing that, that's really important. So please don't clap, shoot up the... You have to have your credentials at all time. We're not trying to be jerks, but there are right-wing infiltrators who are trying to get in here. Don't really talk to anybody who doesn't have a credential. Don't talk to cops. Don't talk to MAGA. We're almost there. A completely quiet room. One thing to note there, please don't go into that space with anything that's like an aggressive scent, for instance, right? Try to be chill, right? Take a deep breath. And feel better before you say anything.
First of all, James Jackson, Sacramento, he, him. I just want to say, can we please keep the chatter to a minimum? I'm one of the people who's very, very prone to sensory overload. There's a lot of whispering and chatter going on. It's making it very difficult for me to focus. Please, can we just, I know we're all fresh and ready to go, but can we please just keep the chatter to a minimum? It's affecting my ability to focus. Thank you.
Thank you, comrade.
Point of privilege once again. Hi, James Jackson, Sacramento DSA, he, him. I have already asked people to be mindful of the chatter of their comrades who are sensitive to sensory overload, and that goes double for the heckling and the hissing. It is also triggering to my anxiety. Like, the be comradely isn't just for let's keep things civil or whatever. It's so that people aren't gonna get triggered, so that it doesn't affect their performance as a delegate, okay?
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Great, awesome. And
Very
amendments
brief.
committee?
Very brief point of information. If you are using a microphone, talk into it directly like I am right now, and do not wave your face back and forth because people cannot hear you. That is all.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for the pointer.
In the complete report.
Point of personal privilege. There are people at the back who are having problems hearing. Thanks.
Oh, thank you very much.
Could someone please run a mic to the comrade in the jean jacket, of which there are many?
Could I please ask the chair to, there was a previous point of privilege about waving around signs, that it is distracting to other comrades. I have autism. This is distracting to me. I would like to ask our fellow delegates, please, to not wave around your signs, especially during voting. Thank you.
Yes.
Okie dokie. Well, yeah. British police probe virtual rape in metaverse. Young girl's digital persona is sexually attacked by a gang of adult men in immersive video game, sparking first investigation of its kind and questions about extent current laws apply in online world. Well, you already have those laws, and you've already been sending the police to people's homes. Dare they criticize the government on Facebook? So I'm sure you're going to figure out how to pick up that gang of adult men. I don't know these games, so I can't speak to the video games, but I'm sure you're going to figure it out, British police. Oh, man. Man, oh, man. So, here. Oh, when the scam is over. This was the video that I was talking about that I got wrong just a second ago. This is it. But the communist founders, they made out really well. They made out really well. And have they been held to account? No, not at all. What have they done for Black lives? That matter? Nothing. They did an awful lot for their lives. Numerous law enforcement and other authorities are currently on the scene in Central City, East Los Angeles, California, following a deadly mass shooting incident. Another one.
They sit here putting their fucking hands on people. LAPD, as usual, putting their fucking hands on people.
Shootings are off the record, off the charts. How about a train derailment? San Francisco BART train has derailed and cars are on fire. And in other news, California just promised to bankroll health care for 700,000 illegal immigrants. Things are just going rosy for the new year. North Texas woman followed from the bank, then robbed and killed. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Make sure your awareness of your surroundings is activated, your self-awareness, your situational awareness, because and I have said, I've come across a lot of these videos. People are following people home or to other places after they come out of banks, after they come out shopping, and right smack in their driveway, they're getting held up.
The Facebook group Arlington, Texas Crime shared these photos with us. Arlington Police spokesperson Tim Ciesco says around 10 Friday morning, they responded to a woman who was in a physical struggle with a man outside this restaurant on New York Avenue in Arlington. They say the 56-year-old woman, whose family owns the restaurant, stopped at a bank before coming to work.
And folks who know her told our detectives that this is a part of her daily routine.
Police believe she was followed here when the man tried to rob her in the parking lot.
Based on the condition that we found her in, we think what probably happened is that at some point during that struggle, she fell down on the ground and then got hit by the car, or the suspect's car, as he was trying to get away.
Shortly after, she died.
She was my friend. She's been my friend for years.
Janetta Flores comes to this restaurant every Sunday. Now, she's here to honor her friend.
She's such a good person. She's a godly person, and she would just give. We don't pray to lose anyone that is closer to us like that.
Rashid Ochinica works just a few doors down. He says he's surprised this happened, especially in broad daylight when the plaza is busy.
That's what kept going through my mind. Like, you see, when you came in, the door was locked. That's
Broad daylight, at night, it doesn't matter anymore. And here, police kill man who shot at witness after crash in Garden City in Detroit.
Chaotic moments along Ford Road. That's right. It happened as a man gets out of a car, starts firing a gun, hitting at least one person before police arrived, and then took him down. Thanks, everybody, for joining.
So, somebody crashes into a car and sees a witness and then takes shots at him. Lone survivor of triple murder-suicide in El Paso County shares chilling details
of a triple murder-suicide in El Paso County. That shooting happened earlier this month on Accowie Way, northeast of Peyton. That's where we joined KRDO 13's Tyler Cunnington tonight, who spoke with that surviving family member today about exactly what happened that led up to that unthinkable crime. Tyler?
Yeah, Bart, Tyler Vandelak is the only person that survived that horrific murder-suicide at this home on December 6th. He says the day started out just like any other. His brother Peyton even making a breakfast sandwich for him.
All right, I'm going to ask people to be careful of the comments that they put in, and some of the comments are, well, medical misinformation that YouTube doesn't like.
That morning. However, later that night, he says Peyton snapped, shooting and killing not only their mother and father, but Tyler's best friend, who was visiting that day.
I don't know how someone goes from being a completely stable human being to triple homicide and a suicide over some rum.
Tyler Vandelak was watching movies with his brother Peyton and best friend DeBray Scott on December 6th. Tyler says Peyton, who was very intoxicated, was struggling to fill up their dog's water fountain.
I try and grab the water pitcher from him, and he then snaps at me and says, "Back off before I split you in half like a canoe."
The two then got in a fight, with Tyler dislocating his shoulder. That's when their parents, Nikki and Rob Vandelak, told Peyton to toss his alcohol away, criticizing him for hurting his brother. Then
I hear some loud bangs happening. And so I run upstairs to see what's going on, and I see my mom and dad just lumped over in the hallway.
Tyler ran from the house and called 911.
The brother is still inside. Brother shot parents and dislocated RP's shoulder.
Investigators would find Nikki and Rob dead, along with his dear friend DeBray in the basement. Deputies also found Peyton dead when they got inside the home. An unimaginable loss, just weeks before the Vandelak's favorite holiday.
Though the most wonderful time of the year is not just a song for our family. We indulge in Christmas.
But now, he's left to wonder what tipped his brother off. He believes Peyton's medically related discharge from the Navy in August may have played a part.
Of course I'm angry at him after what he did. What he did is something that deserves anger. But I also do miss him. And frankly, you know, I do wish that none of this had ever happened.
It's amazing to me, over the years, watching people being interviewed very shortly after they have lost their child or their parents or their grandparents, and they seem to be emotionally flat. I think that's very strange. Buses dropping off migrants at New Jersey train stations. Why? Because they take the train into Manhattan because Mayor Adams, his executive order, well, it stated any charter buses coming in to New York City, they have to give advance notice of 32 hours before they're dropping off any illegal migrants, which I find rather strange. So now they're dropping them off in New Jersey, so they take the train in. There's always a way for those who want to violate the law. They do it. If there's a will, there's a way.
Here's what's topping headlines at this hour. Buses filled with migrants are skirting Mayor Adams' executive order. About 10 buses carrying more than 350 migrants have stopped at New Jersey train stations, dropping off the asylum seekers who are then boarding trains bound for New York. Last week, Mayor Adams issued that executive order with strict rules for bus companies and possible penalties if they don't comply.
Dude, what a joke our country is. All right, this was actually a very good video. It's 9 minutes long. Ben Bergquam. Yeah, that's me. Okay, here is the whole video. You have to watch it all. It just gets worse and worse.
How y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
What's going on?
What do we owe the pleasure of?
Well, what do we owe the pleasure of? Who are you guys with?
We have so many questions all around.
Yeah. Now we're journalists.
Oh, you're Ben Berkman.
I am.
Oh, finally meet you.
Yeah. What's your name?
Oh, I'm not going to tell you that. Hold on. You want to ask us? I know, but...
You don't have to.
I know, but the ridiculousness of it.
All right, so we're back down here outside of Sassabee, where it's been taken over.
Sassabee, Arizona.
By illegals and by... you guys know More Deaths? Is that the organization? So... You can say anything. You guys, free country. You guys aren't picking people up, right? You're just supplying.
I can either answer or...
You don't have to.
Claim.
Yeah.
Either deny or claim.
Well, I hope you're not picking them up because that's against the law. So we've got leftists apparently living out here with them now. No?
That's not true.
Well, tell us. I'd love to interview.
No.
Okay, you don't have to.
So we assume that you're telling a fabrication?
¿De dónde son? ¿Ah? Veracruz, ¿ah? ¿A dónde vas en Estados Unidos? Phoenix? Okay. ¿Todos niños? ¿Cuántos días aquí? 2 días? ¿Días aquí? 2? Muy peligroso. Frío, ¿ah? No, bueno. I'm not harassing anyone. I'm talking to them. You realize they've been out here for 2 days?
Yeah, so you should be calling Border Patrol and ask them.
Have
to
you
pick
guys done
folks
that?
Up. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think the solution is?
I think you probably shouldn't harass like women.
I don't think. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm thankfully I don't. Yeah. God bless you guys and your kids, man. It's terrible. It's terrible that you have people like al otro lado and no more deaths. Why would you not want them to tell their story?
Man, when you shove a camera in someone's face who's waiting out in the cold.
When they smile at me, and she apparently wants to talk until somebody comes up and tells her not to, then that's you can't make the decision for them. Aiding and abetting the cartels is not right. That's what's happening out here. Every single one of these people pays the cartels to be here. We're putting more money in their pockets. The people that are behind this are making billions of dollars, and it's at the expense of these kids. Joe Biden did this, guys. The Democrats did this. They invited it. They said, everybody come, but they didn't tell you that this is how you were going to live for 3 days.
Heads up, y'all.
Heads up.
Ben Berkman with his camera.
Truth coming through. Heads up.
Hey, man, why do you not film people without...
Don't touch me.
I'm not going to touch you.
This is free country.
I'm not going to touch you, but why don't you not film people without...
It's a free country. We are outdoors, bro. This is public.
Yeah, just be respectful.
I am. Trying to block me is not being respectful. ¿De dónde son?
Guanajuato.
México. ¿A dónde vas en Estados Unidos?
Atlanta.
Atlanta. ¿Cuántos días aquí?
Es el primero.
Oh, primero. Uno. Hoy, ¿ah?
Ajá.
Okay. They got a Starlink out here. They've moved their whole operation, guys. This is wild. So this is no more deaths. They've moved their whole... These are the guys that actually are aiding and abetting cartel members at their camp. They're literally inviting invasion into our country, and they've moved the camp out here. No, I actually don't want people robbed and raped and murdered by the cartel, which is what you're inviting. You're inviting. Hola. ¿De dónde son? Mexico? Where are you from? Egypt. Holy cow. Don't listen to him. Egypt, huh? Okay. Where in America? New York, or Cairo? Are you going to New York or Chicago? Boston, okay. Egypt?
Yes.
Okay, far from Egypt to here. Long journey.
This is insane. This is so insane. So unbelievably insane. Yeah. Sasserby is in the middle of Lukeville and Nogales. It's right as you saw the border wall that is completely open. And he just goes along showing they're building yurts out there. They've got Starlink out there. They've got supplies out there. And yeah, we are in so much trouble, man, so much trouble. And I don't know if you saw my Never Lose Truth channel, but so 3 a.m., Darien Gap, Chinese men coming through, and one of them asks Michael Yan where a United Nations refugee center is.
Do you speak English?
No. 哎，手机有没有翻译？问他那民营是不是往前走？啊，伊问我没学过英语，我讲 no。伊过来还没学过英语。你讲西班牙语啊？英语。英语你注意。
你好。
你好。他这里饭馆。
你好，联合国难民营是哪里走？
Do you speak English?
A little.
Where are you from?
This place UN.
Don't. Okay. Put it in English, please.
English.
Sí.
Okay.
Fujian?
Yes.
Fujian?
就问难民营往前走吗？敢当？
Hello, are you okay?
你好，联合国难民营是在这边走吗？
Let's see what it says.
Hello, is the United Nations refugee camp going here?
Yes.
This way?
See, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Bye. Bye.
How long?
100 meters.
100 meters?
Yes.
Okay, okay, thank you.
You think maybe this is a orchestrated agenda? United Nations Refugee Center? Right outside the Darien Gap? Oh my God. Wow. Here, I don't know. I didn't, and I should have, but I didn't verify this. I'm getting tired. So, oh God. I didn't mean to lose that. Where is it? Okay, Spanish-speaking radio in San Diego is openly discussing how to circle back around into Mexico and collect another $2,200 each time. One caller has been through the border 4 times at $2,200 per, making $8,800 a month. Please wake me up with this nightmare when the nightmare is over. Circle back, Saki.
So I'm going to show everyone what is going on at this old Walmart north of Brownsville, Texas. I am on Highway 48 north of Brownsville, and there's a secret migrant center here. And when I say secret, it's literally they want to keep it a secret. They have barriers all over the place and security guards and checkpoints. I'm going to take you on a drive and a go-around of this location here. What is going on with this operation here? Used to be a Walmart. This is called Casa Padre. What in the world's going on here? So check this video out and let me know what you think. All right, this is I think it's a center for migrants. And you see, look at this. Private property. I guess they have a checkpoint here. No video photography. Let me go check this out. What in the world is going on here? These barriers up. Wooden barriers up. Blocking the entrance from going in. Empty around here. Businesses are empty. Let me follow. Go out back and see what's going on. Right next to it. They don't want anyone recording. Self-reports. Is up Murphy's. Yes, migrant center. Look at this. And they have a sign that says tour requests. Request. Wow, what's going on here? vans back there. Like the lights are on. Got the whole place fenced up. Look at the fence. It's fenced up. High fences.
So I saw another video on another channel where somebody was saying that this was a child trafficking center. Father's house? Isn't that what Casa Padre means? Padre, father, Casa, house. Police Sergeant Philip Dale Nix, father, husband, son, served as a Greensboro officer for 22 years. Saturday, he was shot and killed in broad daylight by 3 thugs. A lot of police are getting shot. Taxpayers, look, man, we are such schmucks. Wow. Border crisis costs Americans $451 billion annually. So I will link below to the report if anybody wants to check it out. It is 49 pages. Yeah. And they go through the details of the taxpayers' monies and how they're being spent. But this article here, okay, nearly $500 billion is being lost in the healthcare, law enforcement, education, housing, and other sectors due to an influx of illegal immigration in the past 2 years. The $451 billion figure takes into account the millions of illegal migrants released by Mayorkas, Secretary of Department of Homeland Security, as well as 1.7 million so-called gotaways. Yeah, but the border is closed. Every day, millions of American taxpayer dollars are spent on costs directly associated with illegal immigration and the unprecedented crisis at the southwest border sparked by Homeland Security Secretary. Only a small fraction is ever recouped from the taxes paid by illegal aliens, with the rest falling on the shoulders of American citizens and lawful residents. Anywhere between 16.8 million and 29 million illegal aliens currently live in the U.S. I have read articles where it's up to 40 million, but who knows the actual number. So, since Biden assumed office, January 2021, at least 3.8 million illegal aliens have entered the country. And those are the ones that are known. There's a whole lot of gotaways. It is unconscionable for Secretary Mayorkas and Biden to force the American people to pick up the tab for the crisis their border policies created. Ah, yes. Too bad you're shouting about it now, because this has been going on for a whole long time. And now, because more are coming through, people are upset. Yeah. Mark Green, Republican, Tennessee, House Homeland Security Committee Chairman, also said communities across this country, from the smallest border town to our largest city, are dealing with depleted emergency resources, public housing crises, overwhelmed public school systems, damaged or destroyed property, and overwhelming law enforcement costs, burdens these hard-working taxpayers were never prepared for and should not be forced to pay. Today's report outlines the devastating costs of refusing to enforce our nation's laws and reaffirms the Homeland Majority's urgent demand for Biden and Mayorkas to end the failed. These are not failed policies. These are successful policies. This is exactly what they want to be happening. Oh, I know I know, Americans, it is hard to grasp that anybody could do this. So you just don't grasp it. Well, it's time to grasp reality. It's 2024, and everything is getting worse and worse for American citizens. We did it, Joe. We did it. Yeah, we did it, Joe. Oh, that was the disgusting video. Oh, she's saying, we did it, Joe. When they apparently, supposedly, won the election. We did it, Joe. Monthly migrant encounters exceed 300,000 for the first time in U.S. history. December. 302,000 encounters in the month of December, which marks 785,000 encounters since October 1. The cloud pivoting of America continues unabated. Oh, boy. Yeah. Arizona, 80,000. 80,000 crossed in Arizona in the month of December. 80,000. Yeah. And this is a video from Lukeville, which is in the Tucson sector. More than 80,000 people crossed over in December. And they all really look like they're here for the American dream. Unbelievable that Americans aren't screaming in the streets. But I guess they're comfortable and feel secure. And there'll be a wake-up call. Farcical, mysterious passport stamps accidentally let migrants stay in UK. And the Home Office has no idea how many foreign nationals have been mistakenly allowed to live here indefinitely. Thousands. A new border farce may have mistakenly allowed thousands of foreign nationals to live in Britain. One of the Home Office's own legal representative has described the stamp as being shrouded in mystery. It came to light after an Albanian failed asylum seeker was given the stamp in his travel documents after being stopped and quizzed at the UK border in 2020, and that led to a protracted legal challenge that eventually concluded the man's claim to remain in the UK was invalid. Mysterious stamps. The Home Office has no idea how many passports have been stamped with the same message, which says the holder has been admitted to the UK under European regulations. Unable to answer questions about when the stamp, which has been used by Border Force officers at ports and airports across the country for years, should legitimately be awarded, or why it's being used mistakenly. We just don't know. It's a mystery. Even passport control supervisors wrongly believe they have the power to admit foreign nationals in similar circumstances, raising further serious questions about Britain's porous borders. A Home Office insider said, this stamp could have been used thousands of times. We just don't know the true figure. Just when you think it can't get any worse, it does. It's a total farce. Hello? All of us in Western countries. It's deliberate. These kids are not simply after mobile phones. UK. And this woman, wow, just listening to her dramatic testimony of an Italian girl chased in Milan by 2 Arab immigrants.
Sono in questo stato perché ho appena rischiato di, non lo so, qualsiasi cosa, veramente essere stuprata / rapinata, ed ero qui in centro a Milano. Stavo al semaforo e a un certo punto vedo che c'erano questi 2 ragazzi extracomunitari vestiti malissimo, cioè male, nel senso si vedeva che non erano brave persone, che mi iniziano a puntare e a indicare e a urlarmi. Io comunque lì per lì mi paralizzo e per fortuna il semaforo era rosso e vedo che c'era un taxi che comunque stava venendo nella mia direzione, quindi mi inizio a spostare perché loro erano davanti a me e cambio il lato della strada verso, lateralmente, per mettermi in mezzo alla strada e urlare al taxi di fermarsi. Questi ragazzi mi iniziano ad inseguire e a venire a urlarmi delle cose in una lingua che penso fosse arabo, non lo so, e a venire da me. Io giuro, non penso che, ho perso completamente la ragione, non sapevo cosa fare, ero quasi paralizzata. Per fortuna mi sono messa in mezzo alla strada e questo taxi si è fermato mettendosi tipo tra me e questi, cercando di separarli, e mi ha fatta salire, veramente un angelo. Io non so, senza di lui probabilmente mi avrebbero stuprata e derubata, perché era quello il loro intento.
This is going to be happening more and more all over in Western countries. Cultural enricher molest defenseless woman in Spain, and no one intervenes.
Jefe, llama a la policía.
And this guy is just sitting there watching this? Here in Ireland.
What's your friend?
Here, in the video, there are no Italians, women, or tourists. You already know why. I can't tell. But yeah, we're seeing more and more crowds of non-Europeans showing up in centers of cities, and it sure does beg questions. Cultural enricher harasses the wrong dog. And all I can say is good. Good. And here, I mean, people are just getting attacked. I don't... To all the ordinary Westerners out there, to the citizens, to the lawful residents, you're the only ones who can put a stop to this. You got to unite on this issue because your governments are doing it deliberately.
Tellement te faire du mal, tu vas tellement souffrir, tu vas vouloir fermer ta bouche. Voilà, tu vas plus rigoler. Tellement te faire du mal.
He just smacks her in the face. Fortunately, another man jumped on him. And here in Berlin, this is the New Year's Eve. Bedlam in Berlin as police and firefighters attacked with projectiles. Well, this is our life now. For all of us. This is what doing nothing, not being able to organize, not being able to unite, brings us. This has been going on for years and years, decades. But, you know, it's 2024. When I think just in December, because I've been posting on the migrant issue for a very, very long time, month after month after month, you're just seeing the numbers are escalating to a point where you're like shocked that this could be happening. And just in December, 302,000 come across the border, over 80,000 in Arizona. Okay, we're not in good shape. We are not in good shape at all. And I just hope that all of you have some kind of community, have some kind of, you have friends, you've got, you know, living nearby, you've got family, something. Because alone, people aren't going to make it. So, I'm starting to get very nervous about Bookend. Bookend, the other cat that showed up and decided to, you know, adopt us. And I haven't seen him since very, very early morning. He always comes in. He comes in for sure to eat, for his treats. And I haven't seen him. And I don't know what's going on. I can't stand it. But with that guy that came over, me naively thinking he was going to introduce himself to someone who's new. No, he came over and threatened my cats. And I don't know. Dog situation still a little bit better, but they got out twice. He doesn't fix things. He just puts up a piece of board with a little rock to keep it. All the dogs had to do was just put their paw on, and boom. So the dogs got out twice yesterday. I'm flipping the dogs over the fence. I'm going over the fence. I'm trying to secure it. I really appreciate the 81-year-old who lives on the other side of this guy, because we can get together and just bitch or laugh about everything that's going on. So, yeah, I worry about me here too, Marty. It's not a good place for a lot of reasons. And, today I was thinking, okay, one more month, I'm going to ask everybody to pray that a miracle comes about, that I can get back to Anderson, to the familiar, because living what I've lived has done a number on my health, on my brain, and boy, here I have really felt myself go down. So, a miracle! Yay! Let's go for a miracle. I'll pray, keep doing the best that I can. But I am, unfortunately, soon to be gone, because this is not doable. Not for me. Definitely not. So yeah, a whole lot of people think, I don't pray, and I think prayer is a great energy to put out into the world. So, boy, do I need it. There's only two people that could get me back to Anderson. The friend that I had there, or my family. And both can do it in a heartbeat. But I don't think either of them want me to live. So, yeah, a lot of people don't care if I live or die. That's hard. That is hard to just reconcile. I don't think I'm a horrible person. I don't go, oh, I'm great. I go to, I'm decent. I'm a decent human being. I don't understand my life. I don't understand my life. So, I'm going to be putting up a video about the possibility, I've heard from other people, that I am targeted, that I've been tracked, that yada yada yada. I don't know, and I don't obsess, but I have to. Things have been so insane, nothing making sense, that I really do have to wonder. I do wonder. And it's not fun living this, so I'll just keep trying to do my best, and you guys do your best, please. We need to do our best. No matter how down we are, no matter how we feel physically, we just have to keep doing our best. And we need to help people in need. In your communities. It is essential You know, be the change that you want to see. Don't get, you know, all tangled up and angry and hateful, and we're seeing so much of that. Even the 81-year-old neighbor has said people have changed. People have really changed. They have. You know, people are noticing it. They're not friendly. They're mean. And I'm not saying everyone, you know, because I've encountered, you know, nice people here, just strangers, you know. But something has gone amiss, and it's only going to get worse. So we have to make sure that we know who we are, and when we get those funny thoughts that really are not characteristic of ourselves, wait it out. And yeah, in the face of an awful lot of adversity, that's when we get to show our true character. It's hard. Stay safe. Thank you for showing up. I hope to see you tomorrow. Good night and good luck. Ciao, guys.